I'm going. Am I now recording? We're now recording.
I see the thing in the
That
corner
says
of the.
recording.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hopefully it works. And if it doesn't,
Who cares?
exactly. Welcome, everybody, to our first in a very long time episode of Laughs and Drafts. I'm going to turn the light on here so that so you can see my face better.
Is this an official episode?
Yeah, we're going to put this on YouTube and it's going to be great.
Oh.
Yep. Anyway.
Oh wait, no, that's the Schitt's Creek. That's the Schitt's Creek.
Yeah,
theme.
I don't know. I don't know what you're doing there. But so we are doing this Laughs and Drafts, and it's very exciting. It's going to be a little different than our previous Laughs and Drafts because we're not in the same room, and B, I'm not drinking anything I've never had before. I'm drinking pretty standard coffee Kolsch, and then I have a.
You know what's really funny?
I have a Tower Station lined up for afterwards.
I'm glad that we have such a similar taste in beer that we both have a coffee Kolsch on standby.
Yes. So this is what I'm currently sipping on.
My beer that I'm drinking right now is called a Golden Hour from Arizona Wilderness. It didn't really specify what type of ale. I guess a golden ale because it's called.
Did you know
Golden
that if
Hour,
you put an S in there, it's the Golden Shower? We're off to a really good start.
All right, I'm leaving. Bye.
Wait, no, so tell us about the Golden Hour shower.
I assume it's a golden ale because it just says ale. So, but it's called Golden Hour.
Interesting.
Ale with coffee, turmeric, black pepper, maple syrup, cardamom, cinnamon, and ginger.
What?
A lot of flavors going on.
And is it a collab?
Collab with Cartel Coffee Lab.
Ah, there it is. There she be.
Yes. 7.3% Arizona Wilderness. They've been we talked about before we started. They've been really upping their can game, like releasing more to the public rather than just at the brewery. And I think it's great. I think they need to do more of that.
I want to get my hands on some of their Superstition breakfast stout. I've been hankering for that. Vanilla bean, maple syrup, Superstition coffee, and lactose. Just so good. 10.4%. It's one of my favorites.
One of my favorite things that they make is their golden stout. Yeah.
The blonde stout?
Blonde stout. That's right. Yeah. The blonde stout. It's so good.
Yeah.
I think my absolute favorite though is always, I know it's probably an unpopular opinion, but it's their sweet potato saison.
Yeah. Mallory, my fiance, is a fan of that one. Well, I think this is a great segue into the subject matter of our little Zoom meeting Laughs and Drafts episode, which is our favorite Arizona breweries and our favorite Arizona beers. I'm sure we'll go way off more than 5. We're doing top 5 breweries and top 5 beers. I have mine like written down, but then I have like a slew of honorable mentions that are just like more than 5.
I've got my top 5, but I've got 78 honorable mentions.
Yeah. So I figured, I mean, I don't know if you have your breweries in order, but let's start with number 5. Your number 5.
My number
favorite.
5.
So while you're thinking about it, I'm going to say mine. My number 5 favorite in Arizona is Historic. Historic is in Flagstaff. They have a location in Cottonwood, I think. But obviously Flagstaff is where they started, and I could go all day about why, but I figured I'd let you chime in.
I mean, Historic's good. They've got the pie hole porter, but that's really all I've had from them.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just haven't had anything else from them, so I can't put them very high because I like they don't distribute.
I think that's fair. I think for me that's kind of where like places like Wren House and Mother Road go. It's like I've had such a small sampling of what they've had, but every time I've been to Historic, I've gotten flights and stuff, and I've never had a beer I didn't like from there. So, what's your number 5?
Number 5 would be Wren House, and
wow.
But like you're saying, like you haven't had a whole lot from them, like to get a good sampling of them, but like you've had what they're capable of.
Yes, agreed.
I've had what they're capable of, and they're capable of some of the most amazing beers I've ever had.
Yeah.
But
agreed.
They're getting better about like distributing.
Are they distributing?
Sometimes, every once in a while. Every once in a while, Liquor Express will have some. But
I would love to
I don't
figure
think
out.
we've got a big enough operation to do widespread distributing.
That's fair. That's fair. My number 4 is Dark Sky, staying in Flagstaff. Dark Sky is another one that I've had a relatively small sampling of. But every time I go to Flagstaff, I go to Dark Sky, and every time I go, I am just floored with how delicious their beer is. I usually end up coming back with a bunch of it. So they delve pretty heavily into the sour game, which I like, but they also do like really big, heavy beers. They do some hazies that are really tasty. So they just have like their niche is like everything I like in beer. So I gotta say Dark Sky.
I went to Dark Sky and I was like super excited to go to Dark Sky because it had been hyped up so much, and then I had their beers and
Whatever,
it didn't have a
decided to come out.
Like it didn't have like a ton of flavor to it.
Interesting. What's your number 4?
And like I'm not huge on sours, so like when a brewery is like all about their sours, then it's probably going to be kind of pushed aside for me. Number 4 for me is Fate, down in Scottsdale. I love.
That's my number 3, so that makes it easy. We could just talk about it at the same time.
Absolutely. I love Fate because like their food's really good. They always have like all of their year-round beers are excellent. They like that hatch chili got those. There's a beer made with hatch chilies. And looking at it on a menu, you'd go, that's disgusting. Why would I want to drink that? But then you try it and you're like, oh, that's so pleasurable, especially in the summer. It's super refreshing.
Yeah.
And then like their candy bar milk stout that they put out every year, it's just like it blows any other like chocolate based stout completely out of the water.
Their king size is still available at the South location.
That's what I mean, their king size. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, the king size candy bar milk. Well, so every year Fate releases their candy bar milk stout. It's like one of the most highly sought after beers in Phoenix.
They sell a lot of the cans like that.
Yeah, and it's like this thick peanut butter chocolate, just deliciousness. And
a couple years ago, they had like 5 variants of it, like almond joy and Kit Kat,
coconut
and,
one, but then what they do is they barrel some of it and they age it for a year, and then they release their king size candy bar milk stout, which is it's like, what is it, 10%, 11%?
I think this year's was 12. Give me a second. Let me look it up.
Outrageous, and it's just like it's everything. If you love barrel aged, chocolatey, malty, lactosey, delicious beers, this is just like it's the mother load for sure. So, candy bar milk stout. But then the other thing that Fate does really well is just like they're like German. They're like light lager. German lager is really good. Their Hefeweizen is good. Their brown ales. I mean, like every beer they do is like it's just good.
Yeah,
and it's not like weird. They're other than that chili.
You know my relationship with lagers.
Yeah.
But
well, but you're wrong. But yeah. There's
nope,
American
that's a
lagers
preference.
and there's German lagers, and American lagers tend to not
So
be
there's
as tasty.
So there's
And then the
bullshit
German lagers, which are your
goodness.
Kolsch's and like your
German lagers are great.
German
American
lagers are
lagers
literally
can go
just
away.
like a piece of delicious toast in liquid form. Like it's
Mm.
so good. Like
It's
Huss's
Huss's
Scottsdale blonde.
It's like part of why I look forward to Oktoberfest every year is all the fucking Martins.
But like Huss's Scottsdale blonde is a German lager, and it's one of my favorites just to like have with like lunch. Like
the Scottsdale blonde, like it disappoints me because I'm so in love with the coffee Kolsch that I want that coffee flavor, and it's like that's literally the only difference between the coffee Kolsch and the Scottsdale blonde.
That's funny.
It's the coffee.
What's your number 3?
Number 3 would be Goldwater. Now we've talked about Goldwater before on this show, and when we first went to Goldwater, it was horrible. It was bad.
I don't think it was bad.
They didn't have good beer.
Unexceptional. It was like what's that one place in Mesa that's just like Desert Eagle?
Desert Eagle or Helio Basin when they were open.
Yeah.
Like unremarkable. Like their what's supposed to be like their flagship beer, their Desert Rose, that prickly pear.
Yeah.
Kolsch that they've got. It's like you were waiting for more of that flavor, and it just never showed up. Right. And then they redid the recipe for it, and there's so much more of that flavor. But like especially like you go down to the gold mine, and they've got all the barrel aged stuff and all the goodness, and like they've just been cranking out bangers.
Yeah, I can't wait for the gold mine to open back up.
It was a solid 2 years that I didn't go to that brewery because I was just so unimpressed by the first time I went. But,
do you remember the Red Velvet Stout?
Yeah.
That was like a couple of years ago. It was one of those.
Yeah.
It was one of those. It was a very. It's like a common thing these days, but it was one of those like I open Instagram, I see that they're like, we just released this, and like 7 seconds later, I'm in the car, like peeling out of my house. I'm like, where is it? Like,
are there any left? Are there any left? Yeah, we've got
by the
500
way,
cases left. We've got 500 cases left.
I'm like, there's a beer that they literally just released that I want to tell you about, but I feel like if I tell you now, I'm gonna lose you for this. So I'm gonna keep it to myself.
No, you need to tell me. 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 Johan, you need to tell me.
Okay.
Johan, you need to tell me.
So they have they have a beer that's in cans. You can go get cans of it right now. It's called Bear Blood. And it is a sherry brandy barrel aged bière de garde. There it is. There it is. It's 10%. And yeah, I mean there you go. For those of you who don't know what a bière de garde is, it's a dark saison. So imagine like a Belgian saison, but like
it's French like for a beer for keeping.
Malty. It's just like it's ridiculous, but
theirs is it's something that you can either age it or you can drink it fresh, and there's like no limitations on how long you can keep it. Like bière de garde is French for beer for keeping.
Yeah. So this is a cherry brandy barrel aged bière de garde. So it's aged in cherry brandy barrels, and it's 10%, and yeah. So that's available now at Goldwater, Ben. I know where you're going tonight.
So you know how Bourbon County, like every year they release their Goose Island. Every year they release their like Bourbon County stuff. This year they came out with like 5 or 6 different variations of their stuff, and I got the wheat wine, and it's like apple and brandy and cinnamon and sweet. Ever loving God, it is the most delicious thing I've ever had in my mouth.
Also, since we're talking about like newer beers that we haven't tried, and this going back to Dark Sky, They currently have a Russian Imperial Stout called Turbulence, and they have a version of it with toasted coconuts. So it's a Russian Imperial Stout with toasted coconut, cinnamon, and vanilla, 13%. That's currently available at Dark Sky. So that's why I think your opinion of Dark Sky is ill-informed. You just haven't had the chance to experience it fully.
It is. I mean, maybe, but like I was there in November 2 years ago, and so that would have been like prime stout season.
2 years ago,
and they didn't have any stouts on tap. None.
2 years
Zero.
Ago.
It was below freezing in Flagstaff, and they had 0 stouts on tap.
Okay. Well,
that
was
gave
2 years
me
ago.
an opinion of
my remember your opinion of Goldwater. Okay, so that was your number 3. My number 2 is Arizona Wilderness. Arizona Wilderness has just has like the weirdest, most creative beers, I think, in Arizona. I think they have what I love about them is they always like source their ingredients from Arizona. So like everything, like all their beers are somehow Arizona themed, and they source them like from independent farmers and things like that in Arizona. They partner up with other organizations like Cartel, like Superstition Coffee, like there's another one I'm forgetting. But yeah, I think their beers are just they're definitely they're definitely not like they're not like the mass the pleasing to the masses kinds of beers, like the way Fate might be. Like Fate is great for anybody because no matter what kind of beer you like, you can go to Fate and you can get something you like. But Arizona Wilderness, I think, has a much more targeted audience.
They are for the beer explorers. They're for people like us, where it's like, oh, this has oysters in it. Okay, yeah, I'll try that.
Yeah. Well, and then you consider their food too, and like in any conversation where somebody asks me where the best burger in Arizona is, and I'm going to tell them you get it at Arizona Wilderness.
So, good thing you brought up Arizona Wilderness, because they are my number 1. They are my favorite, and that is. But
we're talking about number 2, Ben. What's your number 2?
Number 2 is Tombstone.
Okay, that's totally fair.
I haven't had anything I don't like, and honestly, I haven't had anything that hasn't like completely blown me away.
Yeah,
like everything that I've had from them is unbelievable.
Yeah, I was so happy when they.
You can go to like the other breweries, and like you'll have stuff that's like, hey, this is good. Like this is really good. It's like above remarkable. That's really good.
Yeah.
But then like.
Yeah, right there, buddy.
So many other things on whatever brewery's menu will be like, meh.
Yeah.
Or they'll have a couple of things that just aren't good, and Tombstone's not like that. Like you can throw a dart at their draft board and get something incredible, like something that will like leave a memory.
Yeah.
And like especially they're not a barley wine. It's a barley wine that's not a barley wine. It's like I don't know. And Jason had he had a Russian Imperial Stout by them, and it like had banana flavor kind of in it, like banana and maple syrup and coffee and chocolate and deliciousness.
They did this IPA.
I do really want to try that
with Wandering Tortoise. That was exceptional, really,
and
really good.
He also had a can. It was a blend of like a couple of their stouts that I don't remember it, but then also their not a barley wine was in it. It was a blend of it, and holy shit, it was so good.
Yeah,
like that. Like I'm so happy that Tombstone has a location closer to us, so that we can like go and
for sure
and actually experience it rather than having to go to Tombstone, Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my number one is Goldwater, which we've already talked about. I think not only because of the beer, but also because I just love their location. I love their tap room. I love that they turned their whole parking lot into a patio during COVID. So it's just easy to go and you sit and you're just away from everybody. And then I also love their gold mine, which for those of you who don't know, the gold mine is basically the building that Goldwater set up in used to be a gun range, an indoor gun range. And they had their bays for the gun range down in like a basement underground. And there's these like concrete tubes that you would shoot your gun into. And it basically stayed unused for, I don't even know how long. And they were going to, as far as I know, they were going to fill it in with concrete and just get rid of it. And the Goldwater, having set up their brewery in
somebody said, "Hey, let's make a bunch of money with this."
Yeah, they were like, we'll use it as our tap room and as our like barrel age, like our cellar.
It's their like exotic. Yeah, it's their cellar. It's their exotic stuff. It's like
so they keep like they have a bunch of barrels down there, and then they had custom fermentation tanks made to fit into those concrete tubes, so that now they have those concrete tubes are all but one taken up by
I like that they left the one.
Yeah,
like they left the one tube so you could like see what it was, and they've got like the old sign with like the teddy bear holding a Tommy gun.
Yeah. which is actually one of my favorite moving into our favorite beers. One of my favorite Arizona beers is the Machine Gun Teddy, which is a brown ale that they do it's just a great malty, and they always have some kind of variation of it too, like so that's one of my favorite beers. The other ones that I put down for favorites, so these are I'm gonna switch headphones because my AirPods are running out of battery.
Ugh, such a pain in the ass. You ever like look at your own like picture in picture and just make faces on it? Nope, I can't hear you. You're gone. Nope, you're gone. Hey, it's the go. There
it is. Okay. So my favorite beers, I put, and this is in no particular order because I think an order would be like impossible for me. Machine Gun Teddy from Goldwater, Pine Mountain Sour from Arizona Wilderness, which I don't think you can get anymore. I've seen some people drinking it out of bottles, but that's their sour pale ale that they released.
Dude, I remember the time you got a 64-ounce growler of that beer and you killed the whole thing in like 2 hours.
Yeah. That's that. That was like back when sours were like a thing, and
there were bigger several drunk calls that night.
Yeah. But that was back when like sours were like a bigger thing, and both Fate
a bigger thing. They're bigger now than they were then.
I don't know. I feel like maybe for me, I was drinking them more back then.
For you, yeah, you used to drink a lot of sours.
But they were like these. I mean, that's how I got into hoppier beers, was by drinking these like sour pale ales and sour IPAs and stuff. It like warmed my taste buds to like the bitterness of hops by like balancing it out with the sour, like the tartness of a sour. And so like Epic had this tart and juicy IPA that I loved, and then
dude, you bought so much of that damn beer.
Yeah, and then Fate had their single hop sours. So like Pine Mountain Sour. Just remember the other one's Candy Bar Milk Stout, which we've already talked about. Rainy Days, the hazy IPA from Dark Sky, is just so good, and then Pie Hole Porter from Historic. Those are my top. I love Pie Hole Porter, especially for like if you go camping. There's like nothing better.
No. I'm not talking about really for Pie Hole Porter. I'm talking about like all the IPAs on your list.
It was just Dark Sky. It was just the Rainy Days. That's the only IPA. I mean, the Pine Mountain Sour is a pale ale, but
Yeah.
In my honorable mention, so I'll just the Tower Station unfiltered IPA from Mother Road, which I'm about to drink. The Coffee Kolsch, which I just drank, which is delicious. The Church Music Hazy IPA from the shop.
Church Music is good.
I love that one. Do you remember Tropic Like It's Hot from the shop?
Dude.
Okay, so this was a triple milkshake IPA with coconut, pineapple, vanilla, and lactose. It was just
like
unconscionably delicious.
It didn't taste like an IPA because there was too much alcohol in it.
Yeah. And then the Orange Blossom, just like a solid pool beer for the summertime.
I love that beer. That's so good. So like my favorite beers they're not necessarily the best beers I've ever had.
Right.
They're just like
same.
They're beers that no matter what the situation, I can sit down and crack it open and be perfectly content. And like mine aren't in order except for my favorite one. My favorite beer ever is Coffee Kolsch. Always will be. Just because like any time of year, it's super refreshing during the summer, like 120-degree day, and it just drops your temperature down. And then in the winter it's got that coffee warming coziness, and it's just like I don't know, it's like it's a beer that's like I can have all the time and never be disappointed by it. Like whenever I'm like struggling to decide what beer I want, I'll just get a 6-pack of Coffee Kolsch. Let's just get that, and I'm not disappointed. That's great. I love it.
That's totally fair. What's funny too, I think, is like if you add, I mean, these are all. I'm only talking Arizona beers, right? Like if you go outside of Arizona, like my favorite beers list is like
even outside of Arizona. Like, Coffee Kolsch is my favorite one. Like Huss is definitely not my favorite brewery. They're not even in probably my top 15 favorite breweries, but that is definitely my favorite beer.
Yeah. Well, what else do you have on your list?
Coffee Kolsch, Orange Blossom, the Tombstone's Not a Barley Wine, Arizona Wilderness, their Presidential Stout.
Yes.
And another Arizona Wilderness, their sweet potato saison, which for some reason they only produce every 2 years. And the first time I had it, they had aged it in tequila barrels, and it was like the most delicious thing I'd ever had, and they've never done it since. Why would you take something so perfect and never do it again? Explain.
I don't know.
Explain.
I don't know. That's a good list, though. I feel like that's a great list. Do you have any like honorable mentions that you throw in there, like other beers that?
Machine Gun Teddy, from Goldwater, Desert Rose from Goldwater, Candy Bar Milk Stout, especially the king size from Fate. Honestly, Santan's Hefeweizen is fantastic.
Yeah,
it's super bright and fruity, and it's really delicious. I really like that one.
Santan, I have a warm place in my heart for it because their food's really good. And
I've never actually been to the brewery.
Okay, well, the food's delicious, and what I really like to do, because we go to. There's actually a Santan up in Uptown, Uptown Phoenix, which is exactly. But it's like Bethany Home and 16th Street, so it's really close to where I live, and we've gone there for brunch before. And what I like to do when I go to brunch anywhere is I get like a hazy IPA, and then I have them like put a splash of OJ into it, just like a splash, and it's I call it my manmosa. And I know, but I'm telling you, it's delicious because it like it's just delicious, and I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize. for it. I'm not. It's delicious, and I won't.
I don't even have a response for that. I don't have a response for that. You're defacing. You should be.
It's not like I get a fancy one. Like,
no,
okay, like Santan's Moonjack.
Put away for vandalism for doing that.
Go to hell, Ben. No, like they're Moonjack. I think it's called Moonjack. It's like Juicy Jack. That's
Juicy
right.
Jack.
They have another moon something.
Like moon hops or moon.
Yeah, I don't know. But Juicy Jack.
Juice. It's moon juice.
That's what it is.
It's galaxy hops. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. That's okay.
But their Juicy Jack it's a great beer. I have like nothing against that beer. But you throw a little splash of OJ in there. We're firing on all cylinders now.
But like Santan's another one of those breweries where like they're not bad, they're just unremarkable.
Dude, I don't know what is happening. I gotta move. What I like about Santan is they're consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go to Santan, you can get a Santan beer, and it's always going to be good. It's always going to taste the same, and they're always going to be available no matter where you are. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to
also their Sex Panther. So my wedding cake was actually made with
bits of real Panther.
Bits of real Panther, definitely. It was
works 60% of the time.
Don't tell my sister because she's vegan now for some reason. But the wedding cake was made with bits of real Panther.
Interesting.
Just don't talk to my sister.
That's funny. The other one that I like from them is their Mr. Pineapple. Oh, he's a kitty. He's a Mr. Kitty. Their Mr. Pineapple.
She'll cast a spell on you, a spell of cuteness. Oh.
Okay. Their Mr. Pineapple is a good pool beer.
Oh.
You don't like it? Anyway, so I don't even know how long we've been doing. I think we've been at this for like half hour or so, which is long. So I'm going to move on to this other. I want to tell you. Oh gosh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I want to tell you about this really cool brewery that I read about recently, and I think it's really cool. You're terrorizing that cat.
I love this cat so much.
Have you heard, Benjamin, of Kitsune Brewing Company?
What?
Kitsune, like the Japanese.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, come on.
There's this guy who was a home brewer. His name is Tyler Smith. And I guess he lives like somewhere in North Phoenix. And he wanted to start Arizona's only Black-owned brewery last summer.
Where is it?
Currently he's actually brewing out of a brewery in North Phoenix called Simple Machine Brewing Company.
I've heard of them, and I've heard they're just kind of meh.
But he started brewing he has a couple of tanks at their brewery that he brews from. And he started I guess he was trying to start like his own restaurant, like a ramen restaurant with a brewery. But he like ran into a bunch of hurdles, and then COVID happened, and so he had to like step back. But these guys at Simple Machine Brewing Company basically invited him in to brew at their location, and they brewed together. They brewed remember last summer when all the protests were happening, and there was like a lot of beers called Black is Beautiful.
Yeah.
And they were all delicious. I remember one from, I don't remember where it was from, but it was like a stout that was just crazy. But they brewed one. It was a black IPA, which if you've never had, it's very interesting. Imagine
I had a black IPA. I don't know how I feel about those.
But they made one, and then all the money that they made from selling it was donated to Black Families and Child Services of Arizona, which is a Phoenix-based
Mm-hmm.
nonprofit. And now he has like a permanent spot in their brew house. He's still hoping to like open his own
Hoping.
his own restaurant and everything. But for now, he's brewing out a simple machine, and he launched Kitsune Brewing Company, which I guess he used to travel a lot to like Japan and Asia, and he just really fell in love with like the culture and everything. And a Kitsune is a
he might have been Navy or Marines or
no, it was for work. He used to work for Nike.
Okay.
Kitsune is like a fox with like multiple tails that is in Japanese like folklore. And it represents like a protector.
Right. Yeah.
It's like a community protector thing. And so he just thought it was really cool. I think he has like a tattoo of said fox, and so that's why it's called Kitsune.
I think we should go there sometime and just have a little talk with him, because like I lived in Japan for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I'd love to just sit there and reminisce about Japan.
For sure. I think it would be really cool. And I definitely want to go support. It sounds like his favorite beers are IPAs, lagers, and other lighter beers. But I know that Simple Machine does like a Dunkel every year, and they like collaborated on their Dunkel last November.
I love the Dunkel.
Yeah.
I love the Dunkel.
But you can get cans of his beer at Craft Beer Hop Stop and Craft Beer Quick Stop, which is in the North Valley, so it's super far from you. But yeah, I thought the story was cool, and
yeah,
I thought the story was cool, and it's one of the newer breweries in town, and I think it's awesome. So, cheers to Kitsune Brewing Company.
How's it spelled?
Kitsune. Kitsune.
UNE?
Yeah.
Dope.
Cha,
dude. Do you have a joke for me, Johan?
Oh, I do. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I got to remember it. It was so funny. Hold on. I got to look it up because it was golden. I have another thing. While I'm pulling this up, I have another thing. There is a website. I'm going to try to get like some kind of sponsorship or something out of these guys if we can grow this out more. There's a website called beerdrop.com. And it's like a box subscription service.
Like a Torvis kind of thing?
Sure. And like their base plan, like their cheapest plan is it's $39 a month plus $5 for shipping and handling, so 45-ish bucks a month. You get 5 new beers from 5 microbreweries every month, but you get 2 of each beer. I feel like we need to do this just for this. So you get 5 2-packs of 12-ounce cans from 5 different breweries, and there's like no commitment. You can cancel at any time. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna reach out to these guys after we try to grow like a little bit more of a following for a bit, and I think it'd be really cool to like try to get like a sponsorship from them because it's super cool. They have bigger plans. Like one of them, you get 3 to 4 32-ounce crowlers, and then 1 2-pack of 16-ounce cans for basically $70 a month. So you're getting like
that's a lot.
A lot of beer. Yeah. So
that's a lot. Like, yeah, I'm like trying to cut my beer drinking down to like once or twice a week, like it used to be.
Right.
Not every day.
Okay, I have a joke for you.
Are
you ready for my joke?
That hat.
What? Are you ready for my joke?
What?
Okay, here it goes. What idiot called it Mario Kart when they could have gone with Mario Speedwagon? Are you not? You're not an Mario Speedwagon fan? Mario Speedwagon.
Why do I still talk to you?
I don't know.
Like
I don't know. But listen to this one. Okay, we're gonna do a bonus.
Perfect opportunity to just say fuck it to our friendship.
Here's another one. There's another one. If you like puns, here we go. So at Comic-Con, I asked a Harry Potter fan. At Comic-Con, I asked a Harry Potter fan if I could slither into her bed. She told me to show her my wand. I asked her if she was serious. She said Granger things have happened. I said I just wanted a muggle. She said she wouldn't snitch, but now I have Hogwarts. We're gonna leave it with that. That's it.
Oh,
that's the crown jewel of the night.
Did you get these on off
Twitter?
The internet or
Twitter. Unabashedly. To Twitter. I follow a guy on Twitter. I'm gonna plug him because he's funny.
Join Twitter.
This guy's Twitter handle is Obi-Wan Panobi. Pun Obi. And he just has so many.
It's a treasure trove of dad jokes.
Yeah.
You know who has the best dad jokes in the world?
Yeah.
Neil Irwin, Nick's dad.
Interesting.
And he just it's nonstop. Like everything he says is a dad joke. It's okay. So great.
we gotta wrap this up because it's gonna be a really long video. Here's the last one. Hey man, you look like shit. Me, I know, I'm trying. That's why I've been hitting the gin. Friend, you mean the gym? Me, the what now? The gym.
All right.
That's a good place to end. That's an even better place to end. Goodbye, everybody.
And I'm gonna go now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.